And you're back with Webbo. Apologies, I believe we've probably had a late joiner to qualifying, triggering that particular issue. We've got some action going on at the moment with Jacques has dropped his front wing somewhere or other, and Hashim has retired. I just saw an Alpha Tauri having problems as well. That appears to be completely separate to everybody else's issues, but let's see if we can gather what is currently going on. I'm going to join Martin, I think, who is usually pretty quick out there. So Martin is currently, he's just got the provisional pole on 1:25.068. I don't actually have the confirmation as to whether this is the only qualifying session tonight, given the reduced amount of drivers that we have. So my apologies. I will have to call this session as if it is the final session and we are going for pole. But unfortunately, I haven't had that confirmation. So we will try and get that confirmation for you if at all possible. We'll join Nick Gishin in the Red Bull, who's heading into that turn at that newly profiled turn 9, which is just about where we left it. I was saying that on the outside you can get the inside line for the next 2 corners, and you run side by side all the way down to this stopping point here for the hotel. There's another Alpha Tauri turned around. They can't keep them in one straight place. Out of the hotel and through the Latifi corner with just 2 to go now into turn 15 and then 16. Almost treat them as one corner, but can be generally pretty low grip on the exit of the final corner. Nick Gishin goes provisional pole on a 1:24.367, and that's leaving just Shakes and Avalak, I believe, to set their times. Shakes has come back into the pits, doesn't like that set of medium tyres, and I think Martin is likely to be currently just touring. Let's see what he's doing with his telemetry. Yeah, touring around on his in-lap. So we wait to see what the next driver is going to be out of the pits. So 9 minutes to go. We've had half the session already, and AP Marg joins us, which is great. Hi AP Marg, and he says Umair for P1 tonight. Looking for a bounce back from Umair. Martin has retired from this one as well. We should all retire if it is the only qualifying session. So I'm guessing that it's not. This is actually Q1 of 3, so generally speaking the drivers are encouraged to retire, but we've got Avalak yet to set a time, and we've got Chums on an outlap too, so hopefully we'll be able to join one of those 2 drivers shortly. Where is Chums on the circuit? He is currently only just ahead of Avalak, so we'll join Chums, shall we, and see him warming up the tyres. Avalak may well decide to go past him here. Good evening if you are joining us now, and do let us know who you're supporting. How many Osmonds can we collect in one stream? That would be a new record for me to enjoy. So Chum's going for a second lap here, and Avalak yet to take on his first lap. So let's ride with Avalak and see if he can hook one lap together before presumably an early retirement. I don't think we'd see Martin and Arno retire if they were expecting this to be the only session. So I do believe we've got 3 qualifying sessions as per usual to enjoy. So Avalak from the back of the grid currently, but riding the Red Bull and heading towards turn 1. Down to 4th gear for this one. Probably see some short shifting going on as you ride the outside curb and then over the bank of turn 2 and then into turn 3. Very similar. Try not to use too many of those curves, particularly in race condition, in turn 4 and coming out of the pits, because they will spin you as quick as an Ascari exit. Through the turn 5 hairpin and then the long wait down the long straight for that next braking zone. Don't be too distracted by your dashboard and any changes, because there is a slight adjustment needs to be made on that long straight. Down into turn 6 and then 7. We'll see some overtaking through there, I'm sure, tonight, before powering on down the next straight under enormous grandstands before looking for, again, braking point. Late braking now down into turn 9, because it is only a 4th gear corner, but drivers will go side by side through there. and possibly even the next 2 corners of turns 10 and 11. Down into turn 12 then, you have to go single file through here. There really is no room. Then we're looking for some good pointers. Avalac immediately slowing because through turn 13 there was a mistake in there, so he'll be kicking himself, I think, slightly, but he's bailed out of this lap early doors, so he may be able to have another go at it. Time ticking by for everybody. Chum's about to complete his next lap. He went a little bit quicker, but not by enough to tackle his next attempt. So Chums stays 6th on a 26.595 now. The fastest time currently Nick at 24.366. Martin only logged a 25.068, but I think taking it fairly easy on that lap, and we'll go back to joining Avalac, I think, because he is likely the only one really pushing, well, that's where the pressure is, at least for Avalac. So let's view him. If he can't string this lap together, there'll be a huge amount of pressure coming through the next one. This one is a bit of a gentle one though, it seems, so we'll join Pantry Star instead. If I can get myself, there we go, there he is. Pantry Star, he's looking for a clear spot on the lap as well, but unfortunately it looks like Shakes blocked him slightly, and into the pits he comes. He's not likely to make another move. Shakes pits as well, crabbing the car down to get the car stopped in time. I wonder what Avalac will decide to do here. There really is no peril in this session. I don't think we will lose any driver because we've only got 12 in the field, despite the fact that Avalac is logged as number 14. There are only 12 drivers in our field. Pantry Star heading into the pits as well. Let's see if Avalac decides to save us some time or wants to get a lap on the board, and you could understand both approaches. Do say hello if you're joining us in the live stream and you haven't yet said hello. Avalac is going to try and log a time here. Let's see what he can do. Over the crest, car gets very light on the grip. Good evening to Yes Man. I don't know if you're joining on a different account, but I haven't seen you before, so good evening to Yes Man. Who's your favourite driver in this one? Who are you cheering on tonight, if anybody? And if you didn't join the first stream, I'll just update you that Martin was punished most significantly for the crash that ended Hamza's chance of a win last week. Martin will receive a 5-place penalty today. Hamza, sorry, Hashim, no, it is Hamza, who has not been able to attend tonight. He himself will get a quali ban for his next race, so I don't believe Martin will be able to finish on the podium tonight as a result of that 5-place penalty. Have a look now. This is where it went wrong last time. Shaking it very carefully through the Latifi turn 14. Got an outlap going on for Jacques actually, with just under 3 minutes to go in the session. Here comes Avalac then for the line, and he gets himself up to P4 25.379, which is P4, but it's a second off Nick's time, his teammate. So I think he'll be hoping for a little bit of an improvement in that one shortly. Jacques we haven't watched with yet tonight, so let's ride with Jacques. What's he doing here? He's going to go for another lap. Third gear exit at the final corner. There's the start light repeaters further back. Uzi and Umer have both logged times and retired immediately. So both Osmonds are here. Through the hairpin then. All the lights of the circuit reflecting off the beautiful Alfa Romeo paintwork. It's great sight to see. We are full night, so we are qualifying at night time. I think we will see some day-to-night conditions in the race itself, which in a concurrent broadcast does look a little bit odd, but pretend that this is Saturday night, I suppose. It's Sunday before the race. Just taking it easy into turn 11 and 12 then, Jack. It's a lot more like it coming out of Latifi. No, and we're winding down again. So it looks like just Chums on the track and pushing, but that's a slow lap as well. I'm not quite sure why the drivers are running so slowly in this session, and why they're just doing installation laps. It would be good for them to retire from the sessions, but never mind. We've got about 30 seconds before the checkered flag, so this is it for Chums. There come the retirements. So 12 drivers at the moment. We're hoping to see Royal Viking tonight at least, but it appears to be all manner of load shedding issues going on around South Africa at the moment, so that might be affecting our audience as well as our drivers. Hi to Fahim, whose sons Uzi and Umer have done a simple installation lap. Looks like Uzi using a set of mediums and saving a set of softs then, and that was the final lap then from Chums, who finishes himself 7th in the session, and we will proceed through to Q2 very shortly. So Nick Gishen, fastest through qualifying 1. He got a 24.365. 7 tenths away comes Martin and Arno, and a further second then for Avalak. In 4th place, Pantry Star in 5th, Top Gun, Chums, Jacques, Uzi, Umer, Hashim and Shakes. Nobody eliminated because we only had 12 starters, and we'll go straight through to Q2, where we plan to lose anybody outside of the top 10. So we have a nice top 10 shootout for Q3 still to come for you tonight. Dustin is cheering on Nick Gishen, says a great run for him. Absolutely right. So Q2 begins. And Hashim has retired immediately. So Hashim either doesn't fancy his chances in qualifying and getting through, or he needs the time to do something else. First driver coming out of the pits, it's an Alpha Tauri. It must be Shakes, and he was struggling for grip out there already tonight. Unique pit lane exit, of course, that goes under the circuit, very narrow. And then the feedback onto the track line also brings the cars directly into danger if there is another car around. There you can see the old circuit configuration and now the new hairpin configuration. I don't know if anyone's got any hot takes on this layout. I quite like it. I know plenty of people who really don't like it and think it used to be better. I like it. Sublime Film, good evening to you as well. And we go through turn 9 with the Alpha Tauri. Just a warm-up lap here, just getting himself ready and the tyres prepped. Tyres obviously fairly standard. The drivers will try and qualify on softs. I think a couple of our drivers who qualified at the top might be able to get away with getting through on mediums, but let's see what they decide. I think they will all be going for softs, certainly on this run. Don't want to go through too many soft sets though. On board with Shakes then. Gets quite a lot of curb through turn 1. I think the car didn't really respond very well to that. And over the crests of 2 and 3. Bit of a blind exit there, so have to get it all logged in your memory banks. Shakes looking for a good apex of a hairpin and gets it. and a slightly wooden exit of the hairpin. I don't think that's going to hurt him too much on the way out. Slightly offline, coming out of turn 7. And across the apex of turn 9. Don't always have to grab the apex there. The banking can run a fairly parallel line. 10, 11, 12. Very wide through the Latifi corner for Shakes. And a big snap on the way out. He's totaled that car, surely. For Jacques, he's still running. He's going to reverse to go across the line. Temporarily, he'll get the fastest time going backwards, going for some style points, I think, at very least, as Arno is next. Uzi logs a 24.737. And the next lap is coming then will join Arno. Umer goes 24.224, half a second faster than his brother and teammate. And it's the McLarens on top at the moment. I'm sure Fahim would like to stop the count right there. So Arno, I think he's taking this one quite easy. I'm surprised to see. So let's join Martin instead, who's probably more on the attack. Gishin on his outlap, he got the fastest time in Q1. He'll be hoping for a repeat through the next session. Martin, just looking for qualification really here through and avoiding that elimination. Martin gets a second fastest time there for himself through sectors 1 and 2. It's to rein in some of the aggression, it seems, or at least that's what the stewards decided coming out of Brazil. Martin got some great power direction change across the apex of Latifi, and in through turn 16, powers to the exit, and that's a second place, 124.260. Very close to Umer, very much on the bubble. And what about Nick then? This is coming out of turn 7. Turn 8 is just a nothing corner, really. Gets the car hooked up nicely, and that looked really smooth through turn 9. Whether he's going to gain a great deal of time there, I'm not confident enough to say. Avoiding those bollards on the inside. Turn 12. Another off-camber corner. The wall looming very close indeed. Red Bull sprints for the line, and it's a 124.301. That's a fair bit slower than his rivals have managed to set. Now Avalak will try and set his time. How confident are the guys at the front feeling, I wonder? AP Mark says Martin's going to give Umer a run for it. Well, they're certainly very close to each other in those times closely. Do you mean, AP Mark, do you mean for quali, or do you mean for both quali and the race? Martin racing under a 5-place penalty today after that contact at the end of the Brazilian Grand Prix. And that 5 places is not awarded to qualifying, that is finishing positions. So he can still qualify as far up as he wants to without penalty, but the finishing position is where we will see the problems. So coming down into turn 6 then for Nick Gishin, or Avalak, even third time of asking, it's Avalak. Avalak had a problem on his first 2 runs through Q1. hopefully looking a bit safer through this one. Just two major corners to go as Umair decides to retire from the session, helping us to free up the track for everybody else. Avalak hasn't set a time, he runs very wide, he keeps the lap alive by feathering that throttle, goes 1:24.846 into 6th place, but probably won't be feeling very comfortable as a result. Excuse me. Anu's on a lap, but he is on an in-lap at the moment, so let's go join his teammate, shall we, Jacques, who may well actually be on a lap right now. No, he's also on an in-lap, so struggling to find a driver currently on a lap. We've got Shakes just starting, or about to start his lap here. Here he is. He's into the 3rd sector of his outlap. Slowing again. Wants a bit of space. I don't know if he can see somebody going through turn 1. He can slightly. Now he should be clear from anybody that decides to come out of the pits. So he Shakes P11 at the moment, 29.7. And a big snap going through turn 2, unfortunately for Shakes. Not for the first time that AlphaTauri is pointing in the wrong direction. I think we've got possibly Pantry Start. He might be on it here. Just heading through turn 3 then. That is the previously spinning Shakes in front of him. Pantry Start. Got a purple first sector. Has he taken too much out of the tyres early doors? The next 2 sectors, of course, will tell us, well, certainly the 3rd sector will tell us if he took too much out of those tyres. Uzi's on an outlap, hoping to climb further forward than 5th place. So I've just got a message from Uzi saying that we have to set a time to go through to Q2. Well, yes, and you have done. So I think Uzi is safe. If we start finishing off, I don't know if that message was a delayed message. There's Pantry Start, P4 then, 24.529, a 4/10 of a second improvement, but that final sector did look a little bit off colour, so maybe that is as a result of what he suffered earlier. Avalak, I imagine, is currently just touring. No, he's actually on an aggressive run here, 1/4 of a second only slower than he's been before. P7. Try and finish the lap off. I think we are going to try. He feels like there was something in the last few corners that he can improve on, and he does improve overall on his time, but not his position. Still P7 then for Avalak, as Chums will try and carry this 1/3 of a second improvement that he's got on the car at the moment. He betters that even more, but stays 9th place, and the track really not coming to these drivers at this stage, unfortunately. There is Uzi though. I think Uzi on a lap here. No. And into the pits, in fact, comes Uzi. So we're waiting on just a couple of drivers to set times. Hashim retired before even trying to set a time from the session. I'm not quite sure what to make of that one. Looked voluntary. Otherwise it would just say left the session instead of retired. So let's join Jacques, shall we? On his outlap. Shakes also on an outlap, as Martin has retired. Happy with 2nd place in this session at least. So, on the bubble, Jacques here in P10, 27.3. Needs a good 2 seconds to make sure he's safe by getting above the driver or two in front of him. But if Shakes can't string a lap together, he'll be out. So we'll concentrate here on Shakes and Jacques. Turn 1 and 2. Fairly safely here to Jacques. Watch out for those curves on the apexes. Can cause problems. He is only 400th slower than he's been before through the sector. But as I say, looking for 2 seconds as total improvement. Remember we saw Shakes. Where is Shakes as he gets through his first sector? He's up as well, so it's Shakes versus Jacques here pretty much for getting through to the next session. The next sector about there for Jacques. That's a 1/10 of a second improvement for Jacques. So I'm assuming that he lost all the time to his delta in the final sector before. He certainly appears to be driving fairly carefully through here. None of that aggressive curb riding that you've seen from the top guys out there. About to finish off his lap then. Jacques goes for the line. Can he get any further up the grid? He stays 10th, so it's all on Shakes here. This is Shakes to try and qualify. Car getting light on the camber, just rotating slightly more than we're used to seeing. Away to the line for Shakes then. That is an improvement by 1.7 seconds, but crucially, he's still not on board there with Jacques. Still too slow to battle with Jacques. Looks like this could be it for Shakes, his last attempt now. Check out Jacques. Is he still pushing? He is still pushing, and he's 1/10 to the good. So he is trying to complete this one. He's now another 1/10 and a half faster than he's been before. The last 2 laps on the track between these two. Try and get that qualification. But currently, they're both a fair distance away from the rest of the field, who are about 1.3 seconds field spread first to 9th, and then a chunk to Jacques there. This is a circuit that separates the drivers quite a lot. He goes to the line, Jacques, and improves by 2 further tenths. Shakes is a little bit slower, and that's his exit at turn 9 didn't look good either, unfortunately. So a lot of time to find for Shakes and Jacques. It looks like Jacques going to be the one that survives this. Shakes really chasing the car, no ERS left to speak of. So just trying to get his way through, but I don't think it's going to be everything. You can see overdriving the car slightly. Shakes crosses the line. I don't think he jumped up. Oh, he finished 10th. It's telling me he finished 10th. How did he manage that on that final sector? Because it looked all kinds of a mess, and he did pip Jacques right at the end. Wow. Okay, so it's Jacques and the retiring Hashim who didn't qualify, unfortunately. And then we've got the fastest time was set by Umer, with Martin right behind him, a 24.2. Then on 24.3, Nick, then Pantry Star, Arno, Uzi, Avalak, Top Gun, Chums and Shakes will be through to our top 10 shootout Q3, which is coming up for you very shortly. Good evening to Puna, who joins us as usual, and I'll be right back after a quick break. And we're back for Q3. The fastest guys here in Division 2 going to take each other on for the chance to qualify at the top of the order. Looks like, who have we got out there? Looks like one of the McLarens might be one of the better ones to be watching. Yeah, it is Umer who is first on track anyway, so we'll watch Umer and see how he gets on with that first lap. 12 minutes of qualifying for the 10 drivers to organise themselves. Good evening to Camilla, who joins us as well. So we've collected 2 Osmonds so far, Osmond fans, Osmond family, and it's Osmond, the Osmond family McLaren team, led currently by Umer on track as we go through the first sector of the racetrack. Quite a short first sector actually. The middle sector is incredibly long, and a purple sector of course for Umer, but he's the first guy on track, so what would you expect? Missing the apex slightly through turn 5. I don't think that will worry him too much. Very, very long DRS straight here. Looking for braking around the 100-metre board. Just try and use the red and white curbs, not the big lumpy ones in the middle of the apexes, and fire himself away. The curbside exit is where the most grip is if the cars do go side by side through there. Through turn 9 then, going for an early apex, trying to ride the speed on the high side on the way through. Over and into the hotel section now. And over we go. Nick Gishin with the first time then on the board. He gets a 23.9. I think we'll see faster times than that, but a good banker for Nick. Here comes Umer straight on to a 23.623. And I'll try and find Martin and see where he is on track. There we go. Martin P8. Currently having not set a time. Ignore that purple, and probably best to ignore that particular run out of turn 9 as well. I think he'll try and go again in a moment. What about Pantry Start? Should we see him? Oh, he goes third on a 24.6. Arno is 4th, Uzi is 5th. We've got Top Gun in the Mercedes heading towards the line. He goes 6th now, just 4/10 off Uzi's time. Top Gun in the 6th position. And then we're just waiting to see maybe Chums. Here comes Chums to the line then. And he goes 6th. Deposing Top Gun, Chums gets a 25.364. Still in the pits, Shakes, Avalak and Martin. Well, Martin's been out and back in again. He's decided that what he's done on that first set of tyres was sufficient to scrub them. He may use them in the race, but it is usually a one-stopper around here. Rarely see a planned 2-stop race. Obviously, events take place and people lose front wings and things, so people do pit for various reasons, but and we get safety cars of course as well, but in terms of a normal race strategy, normally it's either medium to hard or it's hard to medium. If you can live with those hards when the car is heavy and everyone else is on mediums, the hard to medium is, generally speaking, a slightly quicker run. Chums knocks a bollard off in turn 9. Hopefully that won't worry anybody too much. Fahim predicts a 1:23.2 for pole. That's a big climb for Umer. Fahim may have some inside information though on Umer's pace. Maybe Umer's telling him that right now, saying that's what I'm going to get or what I'm going for. That's my PB. But 4/10th climb is a big ask. We'll see if Umer, Nick, Martin can rise to the occasion. 6 minutes to go then. All the drivers in the pits. Not much for me to call on track. So anybody feel like Fahim's over-optimistic or maybe underestimating what Umer can do? I wonder, is that possible? So drivers just waiting. Who have we got? Nick Gishin heading out, and so is Martin. They're right together on track. So let's have a look at them. I think Martin might be moving aside there for Nick. Yeah, he is. Quite fancies letting Nick get on with this himself. Nick maybe go for 3 runs. It is possible. And what about the talking point coming out of the previous race? I wonder, anybody got any opinions on that race-ending battle? I haven't taken you through the standings yet because I wasn't sure if our stream would hold. But in the Division 2 then, as things stand, Umer is on top with 161. Pantry Star 30 behind on 131. Then Martin down into P3 at the moment, 125. Remember, he's carrying a 5-place penalty for the result today. Avalak on 111, and then a bit of a gap out to Top Gun on 92. Bunyi's on 91, 0 on 82. Then comes Nick, Chums and Uzi, the top 10. And in their combined constructor standings between Division 1 and 2, let's join Nick, shall we, on board while I go through that. Red Bull are on top with 474, Mercedes on 395, Haas on 356, Ferrari 302, and then comes McLaren, Williams, Alfa Romeo, Aston Martin, and yet to break the 3-figure mark, AlphaTauri. No points, of course, for Alpine. Oh, Nick, getting very problematic for him there out of the turn 6 hairpin. Martin will see the yellow flag, but he will just push regardless. Gets a massive apex clip through the hairpin. That should give him good slingshot out of it. Martin looking to register his first flying lap here, and we know that Nick's current lap isn't going to do anything. We know Umer's in the pits as well, looking for the sweetest spot with the most track evolution right at the very death of the session. I'm sure Umer, he's got the least to lose, so he can risk all for that one, even if he gets stuck in traffic. Martin doing a good job so far. I think we can probably ignore the audio. I imagine the audio is just lagging slightly. 106.644 for Martin through sector 2. And ready to go across those apexes. Certainly picked up the second one into turn 11. Now turn 12 and 13. Go through the Latifi corner. It's a nice way to take that one. This lap looking pretty good so far for Martin. Can he keep it on the island? One more lap to go, and he comes in the pits. Well, that was an invalidation, unfortunately, and it's not happening for Martin, is it? He's got just about time to get through and do it again and get another one in. What about Pantry Star? He's on the improvement, and he's got, I think, his teammate in front of him to help tow him down the straight. Will his teammate give him a double tow down the next one as well? I think he might. Oh no, he's going to get out of the way. So Pantry Star will have benefited a little bit there from a tow from Chums, who's on an outlap. They've coordinated that one very well indeed. Hopefully Chums has got time to reheat his tyres okay. No real sneaky moves going on for those tows. What I have seen is drivers give the tow and then straight line the turn 6-7 chicane and give it another tow. So I've seen that happen in league racing before now. 4th place for Pantry Star, just lost a shade in that second sector, surprisingly, given the help his teammate gave him. And he wants to this final sector. Umer's on track, but not pushing just yet. Pantry Star from 4th, hugs the pit wall. Doesn't go any faster. Didn't really want to use those tyres, I think, for his next run. Uzi's on an outlap too. Where is he? He's way behind his brother, so I think it's a good idea to get on board with Umer. Going through then the final sector of his last preparation lap before going for it. Try and extend that lead. 1:23.6. His dad tells us a 1:23.2 is possible. Like I say, that means a 4/10 improvement over the lap. Puna says Umer going for his second Grand Slam, and he's very, very good yet. Are you counting a Grand Slam, Puna, as all 3 qualifying sessions and the win? I guess that is the maximum achievable. So can't do practice. But Umer, he's gained a 10th already. 0.138 up on that first sector as the track evolves. More rubber is laid. The temperature shouldn't be building. It might even be dropping as we're in the night time. But just the more drivers actually driving over it, the better for grip levels. Slightly lazy coming out of turn 7 on the power. Just didn't want to over-egg it and spin the car. But that will cost him down this medium-sized straight. But there we go. We've almost gained 3/10 now. 0.273 up on the previous best for Umer. The clock's about to reach 0. It will do before he crosses the line. So there's no second chance on this one for Umer. Not quite the ideal line through Latifi. Unfortunately, that's the lap over and done with. Nick will only be, he's now 1200 slower through sector 1 at least. Nick looks like the man most likely to compare to Umer. What is he? A 1/10 improvement. He needs 3/10 really. Let's see where Martin is though, as he comes out through into turn 6. Martin currently 10th, way away from where he usually gets to. And we'll see him across his next sector before heading back to Nick Gishen. Martin will get the sector done around here. And that is a 53.252. Can't see how that compares. Nick probably defending second rather than going for pole here. Crosses the line. Yeah, no improvement from Nick. Arno is on an invalidated lap, unfortunately. Avalak has taken the checker. So it really is only Martin, I think, that can make any kind of improvement from the back of the grid at the moment. Martin goes 3rd, which is an impressive time given that he hadn't registered a time yet. 23.988. But there is your pole sitter, Umer, and a 3/10 gap to second place. So Umer takes the pole through qualifying 3, completes every session, and is in a very favourable position. He's got fast guys with him though. Nick and Martin will look to try and take advantage down one of those first couple of long straights on the first 2 laps. Umer's job though, obviously, is to gap them. And let's see how their launches go. Coming out of this one, there is your pole sitter though, Umer Osman. Confirmation then, Umer at 1:23.623 claims pole from Nick, who gets a 1:23.904. Very, very close to Martin, 1:23.987. Arno is in 4th, half a second away from the lead. Pantry Star is within a second of the pole position there in 5th, and then we've got Uzi, Shakes, Chums, Top Gun, all setting times. 1.7 seconds the gap first to 9th, and then Avalak unfortunately didn't register a time, so he will stop. He will start this race in P10. 50% race around Yas Marina coming up for you. Let's have your podium predictions. Is there a brave soul out there who predicts anything other than an Umer win? I wonder. We will. I'll love to hear from you. Remember to get those in before the lights start lighting up for us. The drivers will now choose their strategies, make any adjustments to tyre pressure or front wing that they can. And then see if Umer is going to extend his lead at the head of our championship or will he come under a little bit more by way of threat? Probably no surprises on the weather here. I think we'll have desert temperatures in the Middle East. Just waiting for the drivers to finish their selections as they get ready for our race. Countdown begins, and we'll be underway for you shortly. This, remember, is the 8th round of Season 8 for Division 2. Drivers vying for promotion to the Premier Division, of course, as well as keeping an eye on their constructors' titles. Pernet says Pantry has a chance to win. That's a good prediction. I like it. It's bold. Let's see then. So the drivers will head on out of their grid slots. The outside line is the pole position. So as we look at them, on the left side will be pole. Matra joins us. Well, that's unusual. Matrav, one of the fastest guys from the old SAF1. Well, actually the fastest guy in SAF1, and I'm sure one of the Premier Division drivers full-time. He's going to start from the back. I wonder what that's about tonight. Didn't realise we were going to have Matrav with us, starting from the back. I don't know if that's a mistake. He often joins just to spectate, so let's check out the tyre selection. Medium tyres all the way through the grid, apart from Hashim, who didn't take the start of Q2, for Uzi and from Martin. So Uzi splitting the strategy there for the McLaren team, as have the Mercedes team. They've also split that strategy. I wonder what Matrav is planning to do from the back there. Hopefully get through the field without contact. These guys are fighting over their positions in the championship, so having a Premier Division driver with them might put the frighteners on them slightly. Avalak in 10th will look to move forward. I'm not sure that's a fair reflection of where he should be on pace. I think he should be a little bit further up, really. Remember, a reminder for everybody, Martin will get a 5-place penalty at the end of the race, so cannot finish on the podium by rights. Top Gun in 9th. We've got Chums starting 8th. Shakes spinning frequently through qualifying, but managing to get up to 7th. Uzi then will try and follow his brother through and stay with the front runners on the hard tyre. And we've got Pantry Star in 5th. The fact that Martin is on the hard tyre will probably help Uzi slightly. Arno in 4th place, Martin in 3rd, Nick in 2nd, and your pole sitter, Umer there. And we've got AP Mark saying Umer will take it. Well, that's not a bold prediction at all, but if it's accurate, it's accurate. As the sun is setting in Yas Marina, we're ready to get underway. The driver's just trying to find the places to line up on their grid. A couple of drivers getting disqualified, and we'll start with colder tyres. But round 8 of our championship is about to begin. Here come the start lights then. Umer on the left, Nick on the right as we look at them, and it's drop the clutch and go away from the start. Nick Gishen getting a great launch. I think from this camera angle, it looks like Nick Gishen has got the inside line and is fully alongside. Umer having to try and run the outside, but bails slightly. We've got a side-by-side action between Shakes, who's all the way up there, into 3rd place already, and round the outside of Martin, who has to back off. He gets a nerf from the back from Uzi in the McLaren as well. All the front wings still on the car as Martin tries to claim position against his teammate and defend. Stop the rot here for Martin. He doesn't want to get stuck behind Top Gun, but Martin on the hard tyres really struggling away. Nick Gishen has already got ahead, but Shakes has overtaken Umer. On this first trip down the long straight. We've got a little bit of a 3-wide battle going on as they try to get stopped into turn 6. Looked like a late move there for Hashim against Top Gun. They'll come out of turn 7, and Hashim has got the inside line, but can Top Gun get into the slipstream with his teammate? Not quite. Looks like the slipstream will be claimed there by Hashim. Top Gun runs all the way round the outside, will be trying to hang on here and avoid running into his teammate. He reclaims that place expertly from Top Gun. Martin in 5th place, trying to now harry Pantry Star in front of him as his hard tyres are slowly getting up to temperature, but Umer dropping down, so did Martin. The race is absolutely on for us with those two guys out of position. So Shakes up 5 from his start, so is Hashim, but down places. Arno down 8, Uzi down 4. He was caught up with nowhere to go as they start lap 2. We've got a pit stop underway there for Madtrav, who's gone into the pits. Top Gun has retired from the session. I wonder if this is deliberate from Madtrav. That is a full course yellow and a safety car. It's coming through turn 1, and it is unfortunately Top Gun in turn 1 is out of the race. That is a big blow for us. Madtrav has DNF'd as well. I think that's just a mistake then. So he took the start and he's DNF'd in the pit lane. We didn't manage to make much past the start of lap 2, unfortunately. AP Monk tells us that Avalak got disconnected, unfortunately. So that is a big shame for Avalak. But he's down into 11th place at the foot of the field now with the retirements of Top Gun and Madtrav, who I think was here by mistake. There is the safety car on track. And that is the number of places gained and lost you can see on screen at the moment. The tyre strategies will go back to Martin, the lead most hard runner, but Uzi and Hashim struggling on that early warm-up phase. They'll struggle again, I think, on the restart, but this could be the thing that helps Umer to reset his race, because Nick Gishan and Shakes both got past him. And we'll see how the race pace compares here. Shakes with a monster of a start. I don't know if he's got the underlying pace to hang on or not. We'll have to wait and see. Qualifying was such a mess for Shakes. Is that a pit stop coming in? It is. It's Haas in the pits. It's Pantry Star who's gambling, I think, to change tyres. I wonder what that's all about. Is Pantry Star actually having a front wing change? Let's ride with him. It's a long wait for the pit lane to pull into the Haas garage. Yeah, new front wing coming on for Pantry. He's gone off the hard tyres. I don't think they will reach the end of the race, unfortunately for him. And away he goes. So he will rejoin, well, I would say at the back of the grid, but his teammate Chums has pitted. So has Hashim. So a brace of new front wings for the Haas team, it would appear. And we are under safety car conditions at the very start of our 29-lap race, unfortunately. But hopefully we'll be back in action very soon for you. So let's find out, shall we, if Avalak has got back in the car. I want to say that he probably has by now. No, he is still disconnected. Hopefully Madtrav or Top Gun will see that if they're still watching with us, and they will try and reconnect. I don't really want to risk disappearing off the game screen at this stage. Looks like, are we under starters orders? No, we are going to go round again, unfortunately. So the 4th lap will be under safety car as well. Should I risk an invitation to Avalak? I will try. I just don't want to get caught. Invite friends, there we go. No. Unfortunately, if you're watching Avalak, I can't invite you. And I don't want to press the issue and lose the stream, so that's not possible for me. Hopefully Avalak will get back in, but unfortunately, because he's the host, he was the one who sent the invitations in the first place. I can't help out on that one. Hopefully he can contact Madtrav or Top Gun and let him in. So it's far from smooth beginning for Umer or for Martin. Mind you, Martin has now got up to 4th place. We'll be doing some aggressive tyre warming, I imagine. The drivers will be expecting to go green shortly. So those hard tyres on Martin. He's now in 4th place. We'll try and stay with the lead 3 cars, all on a different strategy. But Martin will get a 5-place penalty at the end of the race for race-ending contact with Hamza last week. Safety car, thankfully, will be now coming in at the end of this lap. Thought for a moment there Shakes had another spinella, but no, he's okay. Shakes going to try and go with Nick Gishen. Nick can be a little bit crafty on these restarts. Does nothing wrong, but he's just pretty well practiced at getting the cars back to racing speed. You could go out of Latifi, you could go through turn 15, you could wait until looking at the start-finish line on the exit of the last corner, turn 16. We shall ride with Shakes and see what Nick is doing. You cannot draw alongside. I think he's going now on the exit of Latifi. Just getting the car slowed down. No, he's actually slowing again. That looked like almost a false start there. Away we go then on the restart. Nick waited till the last possible moment, and Shakes getting all crossed up. Unfortunately, Shakes has spun again. What a big deal for him. Umer has managed to just stay ahead of Martin, but he's struggling. Martin versus Arno now is side by side as Martin gets contact. We've got Uzi up alongside, down into turn 5. Uzi taking advantage there of Martin being off, put off his momentum. And is that another yellow flag? No, the car's just look incredibly slow coming down from the rear facing camera trackside. Martin might go for a late lunge here. No, not quite. And we may see something between the Haas of Pantry Start, will we, and Jacques. They go side by side. Jacques claims the middle line of the road, pushes his rival to the outside, who runs around wide around the exit. So Jacques manages to hold on. In fact, he's now attacking Pantry Star's teammate Chums. Remember, Pantry stopped for tyres during that safety car. And a new front wing as well. Bit of further action. Shakes versus Avalak's Ghost. Shakes gets past easily. And next up, we'll go back to the battle for fourth, shall we say, as Martin springs a bit of a surprise there on Uzi, using the ERS deployment out of Latifi and managing to get ahead into turn 15. Don Rabico joins us and says Martin already got the 5-place penalty. So Top Gun got the win. And Martin does not have won this race. Excellent, thank you, Don. That's fantastic info. So yes, the winner last week was declared to be Top Gun, and then I had a sneaking suspicion that might be the case with the 3rd place on the road, with the 2nd place on the road. But like I said before, no recompense for Hamza, unfortunately. Martin lost his win last week. So down the long straight we go. The second lap after the restart. Hashim versus Uzi. Uzi is quite slow down these straights. I wonder if he's just riding a pretty draggy setup here to try and get around the corners and protect the tyre wear. Let's wait and see. But the gaps at the front. Nick Gishen leads by 1.5 seconds from Umer, who himself is 1.1 seconds in front of Arno. Nearly 2 seconds further back is Martin, and then this battle beginning with Martin in the Mercedes, then Hashim, Uzi, all in a line with each other. Shakes is very close to Jacques, and in fact is passing Jacques off screen at the moment. Down, they're side by side. Let's try and go see what those guys are up to. Going side by side and back and forth. Currently, all to the good. Umer 1:28.136 is a new fastest lap on the start of lap 7, and Shakes spins again. I have heard many drivers complain that this track is very low grip in parts, but I'm not sure I've ever seen it affect one driver so much in one evening's racing. Shakes has gone into the pits. I wonder if that's a precursor of a retirement to come. We'll wait and watch the bottom of the screen to find out, of course. But hard tyres. Avalak is back in. Fantastic. So Avalak will get back into his car. He's still in the points, of course, with Shakes in the pits now. And he'll be hoping to get himself back in the order. Back up to racing speed. Shakes has pitted. He's come out. He's going to try and do, I think, 22 laps on the hard tyre. It's not impossible. The hard tyre pit window may well be open now for him. Moment due back up at the lead then. Nick Gishin is closing on Umer on equal tyres. It should be a very fair-handed battle now. Dustin's saying Gish is killing it. He's doing well. He's doing well. But Umer has managed to get in front at this point. So Umer trying to gap Nick. He is gaining and stretching that gap out to now 9 tenths. And he's got to try and gain one further tenth to defend that those long straights to come in Sector 2. The medium tyre should be good for 12 to 15 laps here for the first stint of the race. That's a purple sector for Nick, who is trying to pin back the progress of Umer, succeeding at the moment. He'll get DRS, but he's a fair distance back. This is an incredibly long DRS-enabled straight. I think it might be longer than the Chinese track at Shanghai. Some of the other drivers there still fighting in a DRS train from third backwards. But we'll concentrate on the lead at the moment. It's dropping down now to half a second, but that's not close enough to make a move, unfortunately, into turn 9. Nick has to bide his time here, follow Umer through the difficult sector of the racetrack, and then try and launch another attack if possible. Avalak rejoins in his car on his starting tyres, 10th place, but 21 seconds off 9th. That is a big cost for running using the AI setting. So it's hurting him in a big way. Into lap 9 then. The medium tyres will be fading. I would imagine now that the hard tyres are the better tyre to be on. Let's see if Martin can unlock some pace relative to Arno in front of him. Funny that we started the race with the majority of drivers on medium tyres, and now actually already the majority are on hards. Nick almost being gapped enough by Umer, but using that DRS has managed to regain him a good 3.5 tenths back to parity. Avalak pits then off the medium tyre. Is he switching onto hards early to try a really big undercut? Yes, he is, and he'll have to do 2 fewer laps than Shakes on the tyres. Just 20 laps then for Avalak, the target on the hard tyre. That should be possible. So at any point now, I imagine that the hard tyre window is open. Things getting very close in the battle for third behind this pair, and we'll see them together once we get towards an overtaking spot. It looks like Nick has now finally been dropped sufficiently from Umer. Let's see what he can do from the during the first sector to recatch that, as Hashim gets a big wiggle on coming out of turn 15. Martin definitely has gained time now on Arno in front on the different tyres. It is absolutely a tipping point for the mediums to the hards being the fastest tyre.